Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at weather next 10 to 14 days. For today's second video, day 10 is going to take us to the 23rd of December, the eve of Christmas Eve. Just 10 days away now, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We've extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe run to around a couple of weeks. We will have a look at CFS and ECM at the end of the video as well for the next 4 weeks, which gets us into January. Are we going to have a cold Christmas? We'll have a look at the latest data in a moment. Just to say that the first video is our 7 AM upload, and we've also got the 19th Christmas update coming up for you this evening. So 19th installment of Christmas Countdown on the way for this evening. Please like, share, subscribe on the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so we'll start off, of course, as always, with sensing temperature. So CT is on the up. We are in a mild phase at the moment. Sensing temperature standing around 5.6. So not excessively mild, just a little bit above average, 0.7 degrees. That's provisional to yesterday. To 12 and 7. That will carry on rising over the next few days. That will go into the 6s for around the end of the week and the coming weekend onwards. I think that'll start to drop as we begin to get cooler days and particularly colder nights with an increasing risk of overnight frost and fog. So I would think that's going to get probably another degree higher, maybe to around 6.5, something like that. And then I suspect that will start to fall away. But we shall see how that plays out, of course. Right, so these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next 2 weeks. We've got Bristol today, so the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Bristol. We're starting off a little bit above average at the moment. Actually, upper air temperature is going to rise further over the next few days. Excuse me, over the next few days. So we are in for some notably mild weather aloft, although, as I say, this is all anticyclonic, so down on the surface we will see the temperatures becoming colder by day and particularly by night when we get through to the end of the week and into weekend. Now, as we move to the Christmas period, that's this period just here into the last week of December, there's clearly still this cooling trend in evidence. We've got several members of the GFS ensembles here going really significantly cold on average, actually. Some of them absolutely dropping into the freezer. They're outliers, but there is clearly a big cool down that's going on there within the GFS ensembles around and just after Christmas. Now, we still have some milder ensemble members up here, and that does include today's GFS midnight operational run. So, of course, this is all like over a week away, so it's not a done deal, but we will turn things colder. However, you're going to see some data in a moment in terms of the overall charts. It does look as though there's been a shift, towards colder weather, potentially around the Christmas period. Let's have a look at the, sea level pressure. First of all, see how that's looking. So you can see that, yes, high pressure dominates the weather over the next week or so, reaching a peak of around 1,040 millibars. Then pressure slowly leaking a little bit as we go towards Christmas, although still relatively high with the pressure really at around 1,020 millibars. But let's have a look at the surface temperatures and see how they're looking. And again, we still see this cooling trend going on from where we're starting off right now. Generally really mild, temperatures around 10 degrees. There's another sort of 3-4 days of that still to go. And it's around Thursday, Friday onwards, but we get this cooling trend going on. So by the time we get through to the end of the weekend into next week, actually, we're seeing maximums no better, around 5 degrees. Night frost expected by that point as well. And to be honest, it looks as though that cooling trend probably continues, if anything, as we go towards Christmas period as well. So by then, we have a risk of some really quite significant overnight frost developing, and some of those ensemble members are keeping daytime temperatures around freezing all day by that point. There are still some milder ensemble members up here around the Christmas period, but clearly the trend with the temperature is to turn things colder over the coming week to 10 days, even though we start off mild for the next 3 or 4. And so temperature anomalies from the 13th to 21st of December are going to be above average. We are into a milder phase at the moment, and precipitation anomalies from the 13th to 21st of December, they are drier than normal. The latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we're drawing a wind from off the Atlantic, and so that is the reason it's generally quite mild. Right, so let's have a look at the chart data then. That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? This is how the UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Thursday. Generally dry and mild across most parts of the country, with this high pressure building up from the south into midnight on Friday. That high pressure is sitting right over top of the country at 1,014 millibars, a very intense area of high pressure right over the UK and the Low Countries as well. And as that high pressure intensifies, of course, we lose the southwesterly. That gets pushed away to the north, and underneath the high pressure, as skies clear due to pressure rising and squeezing moisture out of the atmosphere. So skies should clear, and that means that we will start to radiate heat out into space during the long December nights, and so things rapidly start to get colder on the surface underneath high pressure, even though aloft it is still relatively mild. Of course, if it's the summer, then this would be a very hot scenario with this high pressure sitting here over Low Country. We'd be talking about temperatures over 30 degrees, probably over 32 degrees, 90 Fahrenheit, if this was like 17th of June or 17th of July rather than 17th of December. But it's midwinter, it's a midwinter anticyclone, and that means it is likely to start getting rapidly colder under that high pressure on the surface. That high pressure is still dominating the weather as we go through the weekend as well. Loads of dry, fine, but cold weather with overnight frost quite likely. And by the time you get through the 20th of December, week today, begin to move towards Christmas period, of course, that high pressure is showing signs of starting to ridge northwards, and some cold air beginning to push into Scandinavia. It looks a little bit poised, that, doesn't it, by day 8. That's as far as we go with the UK Met Euro. Let's have a look at the GFS, see how that was looking. Again, high pressure building up from the south as we go through Thursday, and that high pressure intensifies, dominating the weather as we go into the weekend. A large winter anticyclone parking itself right over the top of the country. There should be an increasing risk of frost and fog. That high pressure remains well and truly in control of weather as we move into next week, gradually easing its way northwards by the middle of next week. This is Wednesday 22nd of December, so we're very close to Christmas now. The high pressure gradually easing itself northwards, moving towards Scandinavia. We are pulling in the wind from an east or northeasterly direction, and there we go at day 10. Midnight on the 23rd of December, we've got high pressure between Scotland and Norway. We've got the winds coming in from the east. It looks cold, that, and probably brings snow showers on Christmas Eve, probably snow showers into southern and eastern parts of the country. Can you believe that? There's the upper air temperatures. They're looking cold. Not as severely cold down, that's not a beastly east, it's not a beastly east, but you know, it is cold enough for snow showers to be coming in off the North Sea around those eastern and southeastern areas. Looks pretty cold into Christmas Eve as well, although the upper air temperature will be starting to lift up. I think we would still be drawing in low-level continental air. And probably into Christmas Day, I should say, as well. This is Christmas Day. We're well beyond day 10, of course, now. But high pressure is still there, blocking within high latitudes situated over Iceland. Winds are still coming in from the east. I say the upper air temperatures have lifted up, but down on the surface, I reckon we're still talking about some pretty cold weather. There is the upper air temperatures there on Christmas Day. But if we have a look at the dew points, no, that's the wrong one. I should have got this loaded up, shouldn't I? There's the dew points. You can see how cold the dew points are, particularly for England and Wales, actually. And severely cold, absolutely severely cold, perishingly cold, just over the other side of the North Sea. And of course, that is the way the wind is coming from. The air generally coming in from that southeast direction. So that could be a very, very notably cold Christmas Day for England and Wales. Anyway, it's not as cold as Scotland, but these are all very fine details, you know, so it's all to be determined, really. But the general idea, though, is blocked and potentially cold around the Christmas period. How cold, how wintry it gets, that is all up in the air, if you pardon the pun. But these are very different Christmas weather patterns to what we normally get Normally we're in southwesterly winds and we're mild, wet and windy, so this is a very different pattern we've got setting up for this Christmas. Boxing Day, still looking pretty blocked and cold. High pressure generally to our north and east, still generally bringing wind from an easterly direction, so I would have thought that's likely to be quite cold and frosty. And then beyond that, as we move between sort of Christmas and New Year, that's how we look. So it looks like the heights are strengthening around Greenland there as we come to the end of the GFS midnight run. Pressure's generally lowering across the country, but still looking pretty cold, I have to say. And as pressure lowers, probably the risk of snow begins to increase maybe as we head towards the new year. I wonder. Right, that's how we get to the GFS midnight run. Let's have a look at the 6Z. Again, we've got high pressure dominating on Thursday. This high pressure is for trigger mode. If it gets far enough north to start bringing colder weather with it, as it is, we will start to turn colder at the end of the week and into weekend with frost and fog under that area of high pressure. And then the 6Z up to day 10, which is 23rd of December, again, just keeping high pressure well and truly in control of weather. Not that cold easterly wind that the midnight run had. You'll notice you're not taking the high pressure as far north with 6Z as midnight run. So again, the exact fine details of what's going on with this high pressure remains to be seen. But at the very least, it's frost and fog. Would be frost and fog running up towards Christmas. That is Christmas Day. Again, under the high pressure, you'd expect a cold Christmas Day with overnight frost and fog. Really cold northerly blast going to Scandinavia. You'll notice, and just beyond Christmas 6Z, then begins to inch a high pressure out to our northwest and does start to pull in colder air from the northeast. There'll be an increased risk of snow showers coming in from the northeast with that in the days beyond Christmas. That's how we're going to get to the very end of the GFS 6Z, so high pressure pulling out to our west. But fundamentally, it's still blocked. It's still cold, although the upper air temperatures are a little bit less cold, lift up a bit. But, we're still talking about a blocked cold weather pattern. It's just the fine detail that needs to be attuned here. And imagine what I should expect, because this is still like 10 days away. 10 days from now will be 23rd of December. Right, wait till you see the GM though. You thought that was interesting data. Wait till you see the GM. But if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We only need to put on 60 subscribers now to get to 12.9k. So subs are moving quite quickly as there's a lot of interest at the moment with the weather. So when we get to 13,000 subscribers, we are giving away a £30 Amazon voucher. When we get to 12.9k, we will begin to open up, taking names and whatnot for that prize draw. And we've only got to put on, it's actually fewer than 60 subscribers, probably around 55 now. So please give us a sub, tell friends and family to subscribe, and maybe we might just be able to get to 13,000 subscribers before Christmas. I still think it's going to be more towards January into New Year when we get to 13k. But please give us a sub. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, GM looks like this. High pressure is in control of the weather on Thursday and into Friday and into Saturday as well. That high pressure sitting right over top of the country, increasing risk of overnight frost and fog. Now, look what happens with the high pressure early next week. It begins to retrogress starts to push northwestwards up towards Greenland. Big old northerly plunging into Scandinavia. And so here we go. As we get to the 21st of December, that high pressure goes scooting up towards Iceland and Greenland. Low pressure plunging southwards through Scandinavia. Winds are turning into a north or northeasterly direction. That is Wednesday, 22nd of December. And this is taking high pressure further north than any other model. It's centered around Greenland and Iceland. And we really are pulling in what looks like a very cold northeasterly wind. So there's the upper air temperatures for the 22nd of December. And we'll be seeing snow showers piling in from the northeast of that. And then it gets even colder, though, as we get to Christmas Eve. What a chart this is. It's 10 days away. It's from the GM, so it's not the best model. If that came off, we would be looking at a white Christmas in quite a few areas, actually, because that's a proper east. If you follow the isobars back with that, you see that the air does originate from Russia, and actually originates from like the Urals and that sort of area, and is pushing in on that easterly wind, long fetch, easterly. That will be bringing lots of heavy snow showers into eastern parts of the country. There's even a little area of low pressure across France and the Low Countries there. So that will bring more general outbreaks of snow to southern and eastern areas. And look at those temperatures. That's likely to be from the east type levels, with the minus 15 Celsius iceberg starting to cross the North Sea. Now, big caveats apply. I know so many of you will be excited to see that, but big caveats apply. You know, this is the GM, so it's not the best one. If this is the ECMWF, then it'd be a little bit more exciting, of course. And you know, it's 10 days away, so it's just like a possibility. If we go back to the ensembles, we see that there are some GFS ensemble members that are doing this, going down to that sort of level. So let's go here, and you know, these ones just here, these ensemble members down here, they would be the ones that would be doing something like that within the GFS ensembles, particularly that one go down to minus 15 at 850 HPA. But you know, there's a few that go under minus 10 at 850 HPA, and a few more that get close to minus 10 at 850 HPA. So those will be doing that kind of scenario. I'm not being through the ensemble, but I assume those will be doing that kind of scenario. So it's a possibility that we might bring in you know, a really cold air mass and have a properly snowy Christmas. That is a possibility. It's on the table. Even if it's unlikely that that will happen, you know, it can't be totally discounted because it is in this pattern. It is possible, but unlikely and probably won't happen. But nevertheless, we probably will get, you know, quite a coldish Christmas with frost and fog at the very least. This is how the ECMWF is looking high pressure again. It's in control of the weather on Thursday. Generally dry and mild. These dry, mild anticyclonic conditions continue into the weekend, but as the wind pulls into this and southeasterly, we'll start to turn colder under the area of high pressure, with an increasing risk of frost and fog. Early next week, that high pressure starts to ridge north, pushing up towards Greenland and Iceland. And this starts to allow a colder northeasterly wind to begin to set up. That's how the upper air temperatures look at day 10, which is Thursday, 23rd December. Christmas Eve is starting to bring colder air in from the east, with an increasing risk of some snow showers probably on the east coast. It's not that far away, that, from like the GM, but obviously high pressure is not as far north. It's not, you know, really up to Greenland and Iceland. It's between Scotland and Iceland. And so it's more toned down, but it's not all that far away. You see how very cold most of Northern Europe is looking there. So, once again, we just got to keep a close eye on how this is developing. I think much of Northern Europe is going to have a very, very cold Christmas. I have to say, probably the coldest Christmas for years across many northeastern parts of Europe, Scandinavia, Baltic Sea areas, for example. This is how the precipitation forecast looks based on that ECM run from tometshow.com. So, of course, got some wet weather in northern western areas today. That will fizzle out tonight to push southeastwards. Yes, it's over next few days, over next week, 10 days, really is going to be on dry weather as high pressure is dominating and keeping things, you know, pretty dry. When we get to the very end of the ECM run at day 10, we see a few showers beginning to creep onto the east coast, and we start to pull in those cold winds from the northeast. This is the option on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 23rd of December, Christmas Eve. All members of the ECM ensembles, 51 out of 51 of them, have this high pressure centred over and slightly to the north of the country, and around that we bring in this rather cold, or pretty cold, northeasterly wind. Not unleashing the beast, but certainly cold, with a risk of maybe some wintry showers on the east coast. Now, as we get to day 10, look how the options diverge. So these are the options we have at day 10, which will be the 28th of December. 22 members of the ECM ensemble still have a high pressure, kind of in the same position, really, between Scotland, Iceland and Greenland. Round that again, we bring in those cold northeast winds. We have 17 but are very wintry by this point. They have high pressure all the way up to Greenland and Iceland. This is kind of like what the GM is doing. High pressure all the way up to Greenland and Iceland properly, and does back into northern Scandinavia as well, with this trough of low pressure covering northern Eastern Europe. That brings in real northeasterly winds, maybe very cold northeasterly winds, and that would be the coldest and snowiest scenario. This scenario here is cold, but this would be the most wintry, you see what I mean. And then we have 12 that have a high pressure sort of over the country with some lower pressure out in the Atlantic, and that's trying to bring in a milder flow from off the Atlantic Ocean with the jet stream. The 12 there, they're still cold and frosty, but they're not very cold, and they're not notably wintry, unlike this particular option. So where this goes, to Christmas and beyond remains to be seen. But the majority option, of course, is like the 22 there and the 17 there. The majority option is to be cold, and it's just a question of how cold and wintry it gets. CFS-V2 finally, these are pi punch and millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period will take us from the 13th to the 19th of December. The coming week has this high pressure dominating the weather, so mainly dry with an increasing risk of frost and fog. Week 2 is going to be the 20th to 26th of December over Christmas. That high pressure moves towards the northwest, and we start to pull in what could be a much colder northeasterly wind, maybe bring some snow showers to eastern areas. Week 3 also looks cold. This is the 27th of December to 2nd of January. High pressure blocking between Greenland and Iceland. Low pressure across much of northern, central and western Europe. Winds again in from the northeast. You'd expect that to be cold once more and wintry. And then week 4 is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of January. High pressure then pulls out into the Atlantic. Still reaching up towards Greenland though. Just perhaps a little bit less cold with the winds coming in from slightly more of an Atlantic type source. Although, to be honest, it's not far from being, really quite cold still, that to be honest. Trough is in over Scandinavia, so that keeps the cold and wintry weather going up there. Temperature anomalies for week 1 with CFS-V2 from the 13th to 19th of December are above average. Week 2 temperature anomalies from the 20th to 26th of December are colder than average. And that's over Christmas, of course, so that is a cold Christmas being forecast now by the CFS-V2. Most parts of the continent look cold there as well. Week 3 is the 27th of December to the 2nd of January. That is also colder than average. Very, very cold across many parts of Europe by that point, into those blue colours. And then week 4 just goes a little bit less cold, 3rd to 9th of January, as we just start to infiltrate a little bit of slightly less cold air in from off the Atlantic Ocean. So there we go, everybody. Very, very, very interesting developments, and we should wait and see how this all plays out, of course. But it certainly looks like we're going to have a cold Christmas. Looks like it is favoured this year. It doesn't look to be much sign. Put this down. Doesn't seem to be much sight of a mild Christmas here. Of course, you never rule out mild. You never discount the possibility that we end up mild. But on the basis of all of the evidence, it does look as though Christmas is likely to be cold. It is only a question of how cold will it be. Are we just talking about general chilly, frost and fog, quite cold weather? Or are we talking about properly wintry weather, which is not off the table? It's a possibility, albeit not favoured, but it is possible. So we shall see how it all plays out, of course, and time is going to tell. We are going to do our next Christmas update for you tonight. That'll be update number 19, and that will be coming up this evening. If you enjoyed this video, then please do like, share, subscribe. I have not got my subscribe GIF up. I forgot to get that up. I have to make sure I have that up tomorrow, won't I? Please like, share, and subscribe, though, if you've enjoyed this video. As I say, we've only got to put on around 55 subscribers now to get to 12.9k. So please give us a sub, tell friends and family to subscribe as well. And you'll be able to see future other content if you do that. And we'll keep you informed, we'll keep you informed on what's happening up to and beyond Christmas. But for this video, and it's been a very interesting one, I think you'll agree, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.